Oh. Alright, what's poppin', VOD watchers? Welcome back to another stream. This is the last stream before my vacation, and I'm really nervous about it, so I can't wait to talk about that as just a concept. Yeah! Alright, let's go put the Discord notification on, and I should be good to go. Man, it feels good to be back. I'm still a little sniffly, but for the most part, I think I'm all good. For the past week and a half, I've been fucked because of an illness. I blame my family, as I've not left the house for most of that time. But whatever, I guess. We're all just going around giving Muubody illnesses. I'm happy to be back, and now I gotta leave. I'm finally not sick, and now I gotta go do a vacation that I planned out months in advance, and I've already planned for. I already bought a ticket to go to a convention. I already agreed to pay for my Airbnb. Yeah, gross. All right, but no, I'm glad to be back. What's up, Mr. Sketchy? Welcome back to the stream. How's it rocking and rolling? All right, let's hope that this works. I don't remember if I did anything weird to the. It's been a while since I played a game on full screen. It's been like a week. I've been ill, but we're still back. Thank you very much, Kenta, for redeeming first. There we go. Before I take, well, I'm not gonna die. Let me be clear. I'm not gonna die. All right. What's good? What's up, Aptubi? What's up? Welcome back to the stream. Thank you very much for redeeming first, Kenta. How's it going? How's it hopping? Also, dude, I can draw, and I don't know if you do that, and I consider myself good, so that's rad. That's pretty dope. I did not know that, and also I can't draw, so I think it's cool that you can. Am I crazy, or is Mini Motorways really loud for some reason? It feels remarkably loud. Why? Oh, probably because I reinstalled it. That's right. I reinstalled the game because I was playing it on stream last time, and my hard drive disconnected, and then it was like, well, sorry, buddy, gotta redo it. Alright. It was good knowing you. I will forever remember the time, and I will forever remember and cherish the time we had. Well, ideally, I'm not gonna die, let's be clear. Just in case I die, I want people to be like, oh no, well if he dies, now I have to watch the stream. You know what I mean? It's a pressuring tactic. Alright, it's solely to increase views. Mystery rules card, as a matter of fact. That's pretty dope, man. I do have a Discord where you can post your art, but I'm sure you knew that. So I'm still a little sniffly, but I'm doing better. I feel like this is. God, it's so loud. I never changed it. It's so fucking loud, dude. Thank you very much, Kenta, for peanut butter jelly time. I appreciate it. I haven't gotten around to it, and you want to know something? It's gonna happen again because I'm gonna be on vacation. I'm not gonna get around to it then either. Oh man, can you believe it? I sure can. Alright, let's put this and nudge this off of the single piece of UI in the top left of the screen. If you die, I'll make sure nobody uses your body. I appreciate that. You know, that means a lot. I don't want anybody using my body, ideally. So, it's good to hear that. Alright. But no, I'm kind of hyped to be, I don't want to say over Deltarune. Because I enjoyed Deltarune and it was fun. But Deltarune, you know, there are a lot of eyes on me. There are a lot of people chatting. And I like it when people chat. But I don't think I was used to the volume. Not only that, but I was sick. So not only was I was dealing with something I didn't really know how to deal with, but also, you know, I was under the weather while doing it. I feel like I'm bye and don't die. Bye, Aptubi. I gotta go, sad emoji. Alright, goodbye, Aptubi. Thanks for popping in. Rules card. Is this a Deltarune mod? No. No, this is definitely not Deltarune. Well, I'm pretty sure it's not, at least. Last as I checked. Welcome back to stream, Ballistic Bang. Hi, Moo. What's up, Elite Triathlete? How's it rocking and rolling? driving and listening to you, I will make sure not to say anything peculiar like, "Oh my God, an ambulance! Oh my God, a car!" I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I have a bad personality. But no, welcome back. It's good to see you. Speaking of things and seeing things, I was just talking about how when I played Deltarune, it felt like there were a lot of people chatting. And like that's cool. And obviously I want to be internet famous so I never have to work a real job for all of my life. Um that said, thank you of course Kenta for gently lifting a common Pikmin. The sounds of a forklift. You are funny, thank you. I hope this Pikmin doesn't jump scare you. Most of them are fine. Just don't say bus. Alright, I'll try to refrain. God, I wish there was a way for me to provide public transportation on already existing roads, but I just can't come up with anything. If only there was a way to do that. Oh well, it's not an option in this game, so it doesn't matter. But no, I'm thrilled, I think, to be, maybe now that Deltarune's over and summer's over, not that I don't want to be famous, because I think it's great. I'm thrilled with the fact that new people have found me through Deltarune, and I hope they stick around. But I'm also looking forward to, like, more low-key streams, because, I like to talk. I like to talk. I like to riff off the dome, you know what I'm talking about? And when there's a lot of people, I think it's cool. I think it's hype, but I don't know how to deal with it yet. And so having some more low-key streams, as it were, might be a good way for me to, get back to that. And I think Deltarune was just so big that it kind of stopped that from happening. If that sounds normal. Just happy you're still around in any way. Me too. Anyways, I posted my art, so cool. Alright, everybody. I'm gonna turn on my Discord and we're gonna look at it. But if anyone sees my name, age, social security number, don't say anything and don't admit to it. Just forget you saw it. I'm staying in an Airbnb at my vacation, and recently somebody's been asking me my personal details, and I think that's pretty absurd, but I'm giving it to them anyways. Oh my god, it's Rule's card. I'm not playing Deltarune. I don't gotta read what he's saying anymore. Now that I'm not playing Deltarune anymore, I don't need to fucking speak Shakespearean anymore. Thank God. This is cool though. This is dope. Better, far better than what I could do. Although, I think my art has a different kind of charm to it when you think about it. Are we working here? There we go. Alright, Paint 3D is a magical tool. Welcome back, by the way, Jax. It's good to see you. How's it rocking and rolling? Woo. But no, I'm excited. I'm excited to, not to get back to the norm, but it's neat. It'll be a little less turbulent, I think. Cause I think, when I was in 7th grade, my English teacher told me not to pull that shit. Because obviously if you're saying it, you're thinking it. On YouTube, which I, love YouTube, things have been a lot more turbulent because I've been bigger on YouTube. I've been bigger on YouTube than Twitch. You could go so far as to say that YouTube has actually been the main platform as of late, rather than Twitch. I'll look at the views for Twitch and look at the views for YouTube, and my last Deltarune VOD sporting a nice 82 views, which I know for someone who's like a real YouTuber is like 82 views, but for me it's like holy shit, 82 views. Oh my god. And over on Twitch I'm sporting like 30. It's like whoa. This is why the multi-stream's real. Alright, this is why I'm multi-streaming to YouTube and not Kick. No shade to Kick, obviously. But this is why I'm multi-streaming on YouTube and not fucking Rumble or something. Any idea what long-running game you will play once you come back from vacation? Metal Gear Solid or Nine Souls? I want to play Metal Gear. I think it's fun. I think it's cool. I feel like, the past couple months of streaming has really breathed new life into me, and I'm going to try and maintain it. And because of that, I'm going to start playing games that, I really don't know. Games that are still, I check them on howlongtobeat.com, but I beat Yakuza 0, and I beat Grug, and if we're being completely honest with each other, whoa, I also need to work on my enunciation. But if we're being completely honest with each other, You know, beating Yakuza 0 is a big thing for me. Some of you might not know. Some of you got here with Deltarune, so you don't even know that I beat Yakuza 0. But before that, and before Grug, the longest game I think I've played on stream would be like Pokemon Black 2. And I didn't even beat that game. I think I did a Nuzlocke of Pokemon Heart Gold. And I played Fire Emblem, Shadows of Valentia, and Awakening. But those games weren't that long. Well, they were long, don't get me wrong, in the traditional sense, but they weren't as long as Yakuza 0. So I think I can, I can be braver about the types of streams that I plan on doing. And I think I'm interested. I'm going to do a little bit more. Although what that does mean is I need to put in proportionally more effort, which is something I am worried about because I'm kind of a lazy bum. Alright, I got an email from a girl in my club. I'm vice president, she's president. She was like, hey, do you know any people who are like, part of the club this year? And I didn't respond to her for like a week. I heard Metal Gear Solid was pretty good. Me too. I'm gonna play BG3 with 2 friends. I might. Who here remembers that racing minigame? I remember, what was it? Mario Kart Double Dash. Mario Kart Double Dash is pretty fun. You're the vice president of America? Yeah. Who's the existing vice president? Is it Mike Pence? No, it's the other guy. Fuck. This is a good segue. I appreciate that. So recently I checked back in on a YouTuber I haven't watched in a while. His name is Atriok. He's one of Ludwig's friends. So you know I'm about to say some terrible things about him. And honestly, I have become, I think, less informed about the world for the past 2 months. And if we're being completely honest, I don't think that's that bad of a thing. And like, I like to be well informed on the world. And the guy Atriok, he posts a lot of economics things. That helps because I'm in an economics major, and that's not true. I'm in a business major, but yada yada, you know what I'm talking about. But all of his videos are kind of the same vibe. And I'm gonna put this on the screen. It's this guy. This won't go away. He wants to fire him so bad. This could spiral out of control. They're selling fake stocks. The UK needs to figure it out. They broke the Indian stock market. And it's just like red arrow, red economic line, red text. And it's everything he's been doing for months now, maybe years even. You know, ooh, downwards economic line. Red hammer, downwards economic line. Red words, downward economic line. This is huge. This might actually be something good. How did this happen? Downwards economic line. We just got downgraded. And it's like, I would like to stay in tune about the world. I think that's useful information, and I'd like to digest it so that I could at least tell other people, and I could have, like, knowledge. Maybe not agency, but at least knowledge about what's going on in the world. But when the incentive is views, which, I'm not... Listen, this might be the first stream in months that it's ever had, like, a title that's not, like, a really funny joke. I try my hardest to make titles that are, clickable, and sometimes they get a little out of hand. I'll be the first to admit that. But, you're not... When you look through my titles, it's not, the world is coming to an end. It's kind of a bummer because I'm over here minding my own business and I'm hearing about how the world's ending, and that kind of sucks. Alright, let's move that over here and then we'll do this. Let me read your message. I'm sorry, Jax. Well, actually, I already read it before, and it was, I have the GameCube remaster of Metal Gear Solid. That's pretty dope. I don't have a GameCube or a capture card, so even if I did, I wouldn't be able to do anything with that. I wouldn't be able to stream it like that, but I think that's pretty dope. Alright, let's move this. Yeah, this isn't going to be troublesome at all. I can just see this big world. Well, it just needs to go to like what, 300, 400? So it's not that big of a deal. That's pretty dope though. I don't know. I'm kind of excited. Although the problem with not having too many chat messages that you can't read and think about what's going on is that I need to fill in the space myself. I'm out of practice. I'm out of practice, if we can be honest with each other. Alright, it's been so long. I don't know how to do anymore. I don't know how to speak. I gotta... Alright. Let's do this here. Especially with mini motorways, because every like 5 minutes something will happen and I'll need to lock in. I never stop chatting, and I appreciate that, but you know what I mean. With Deltarune, it was like, damn, you know? It was like, damn, these people chatting for real. You know? I need road tiles really badly. But if I take the 30 here, I'll be wasting my weekly choices. Alright, we're gonna pause. We're gonna do this. This is a bad idea just waiting to happen. But we'll do it anyways. Yeah. Hashtag moo chatting is life. Thank you. I've been thinking about how bug fables and Deltarune are surprisingly similar. In what manner? In the manner that everybody spoils bug fables? Because I don't think that's true. Smiley face, I don't think that's true. I've not heard that many spoilers about bug fables, and by many, I mean at all. I haven't even heard of bug fables, bro. I've heard of bug fables, although admittedly, I think it's because Jackson is a big fan of bug fables. So, I suppose I might be primed to hear about it, if that would be the word. I'm boned, by the way. This is not gonna work out. But no, I haven't gotten beef. I'm about to start some beef, although I don't think it's actually gonna happen because I'm gonna be on vacation. But I have a friend. 500, that's what we were aiming for. I have a friend. So here's the thing, I'm part of a friend group, I think as most people are. And we've all kind of moved out because it's a high school friend group, you know what I mean? And so we don't really hang out as much as we used to, which, you know, these things happen. You know, it makes sense. It just is how it is, right? However, the problem with the friend group is it has two people. One of them broke up with another person and is in relationship drama like all the time. Oh my god. And recently she called me and she was like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna let the friend group die. I do have friends. They're not great friends, but they're mine. And I suppose that means something. Very mean thing to say. But I have bones to pick with all of them. Except one. True, I do have bug fables frame drawing in my room made by my sister. See? Jax is a proponent of bug fables. But no, and she was like, I think I'm gonna let that friend group die. I think I'm gonna slither out of the friend group, you know what I mean? Just let it die. Which, first of all, damn, bitch, okay. Now keep in mind, the significance and the relevance of this is that two people came in the stream, so I'm gonna say hello, and then I'm gonna get into some dark and serious topics. It's in the way you move. Thank you, Kent, good dude. And what's up, Sky Guy? I'm back after a while. It's good to have you back. And I missed all of Deltarune. You did miss all of Deltarune. I've beaten it now, and I go on vacation next week. So, bad time to come back, but I'm glad that you're here anyways. Does count Dooku Dude, by the way, in Twitch chat. He's changed his name, but that's him. But anyways, the thing about this group is that we used to hang out all the time at my friend's house, but that friend has passed away. He's gone. It's the same one I talk about all the time. I'll never be over it for as long as I live. And so, as it stands, I live in a small town off of an interstate, which means the only thing to do here is go over to somebody's house and to eat food or watch movies. It's either to go over to somebody's house or like spend exorbitant amounts of money, which isn't the best awesome thing to do in the entire world, you know what I mean? And so not only that, but some of them hate being here. And by some of them, I mean two people. One of them never hangs out anyways, and the other one is the girl who's like, I think I'm just gonna leave the friend group. I'm gonna let it die. First of all, I resent the implication of letting it die as if she's the only one keeping it going, which is not true. Because if it were, she would be able to interact with her ex in a reasonable manner without saying how much she hates him at all times. But I digress. Listen, I'm a little bit of a digressor. Okay, as I digress. Okay, everyone's into it. Not everyone. You got Mr. Sketchy over here. Shout out Mr. Sketchy. As well as Ballistic Bang. Technically, you did play all of Deltarune. You missed the second chapter. You did not miss the second chapter for a secret boss. I did. Not? Yes. But no. And so personally, I don't know. I'm in beef with her. As in, she doesn't know it yet. She doesn't know it yet, but I'm angry at her because I'm resentful. I think it's a weird thing to say that, and it's odd because I don't think she was particularly keeping the friend group together at all. I think it's a little atrocious to kind of take claim over that other people like me have been working hard to do. Yeah, what about me? See? Man, this is the farthest thing from Call of Duty I think you could possibly get, if we're being honest here. God, Dookie, dude. Alright, how do we want to do this? Just get that. You always want a bridge before it's too late to have a bridge. Alright, trust me. You always want a bridge before it's too late to have a bridge. Because when it's too late, it's too late. This is so Doom Eternal. That's not true. Oh, I missed the second secret boss? Unfortunate. You're playing COD? No, I'm not playing COD. Dope. Burp? I didn't burp. But, honestly, I don't know. It's hard to try. The thing about a high school friend group is I think in the grand scheme of the American dream, what you're meant to do is you're meant to like let them go and move on to have friends in your college life, which is fine. I don't have a problem with that. But also, this bitch acting like she's literally the only thing holding it all together when, for the life of her, she can't be somewhat civil towards her ex, who didn't want to commit his entire life to her, who she is now currently having problems with her boyfriend with. Whatever. You know, that's fine. People grow and change. She had the nerve to be like, you better not mention this on stream. Alright, girl, you don't watch. Alright, they don't know. They don't know you. Nobody in the stream is going to pull up, be like, hey, are you that girl that Moo talks shit about every month? Every month there's some new bullshit. Alright, nobody's gonna. Oh, if you guys do that, I'm fucked. Please don't do that. Please don't do that. I'll be so fucked if you guys roll up and be like, hey, are you the girl that Moo talks shit about every fucking month? And she'll be like, what? What did he say about me? Is he still talking about the time that I screamed no when someone asked if we were dating in a crowded restaurant? Is he still talking about that? Maybe. Maybe I am. Who's to say? Doom Eternal is a very Christian game because you're killing Satan, not for killing Satan? I'm sorry? Not killing for Satan. Oh. I played a little bit of Doom on stream. I think maybe it just wasn't the vibe for me on stream, although I have played and beaten it on my Xbox. I say my Xbox as if it's still around. I think it got thrown into the garbage file. You could probably do it. The game gives you the path to the secret boss if you reload to the newest save after beating chapter 4. Oh, okay. I'm gonna do that. Don't do that. Tell me what. What's up, Kantuku, dude? How do I want to go about this? Because this is a bad situation to be in. There we go. I need a roundabout right here. But this should work. Right now. This should work right now. I don't think this will work in the long term. But no. Either way, I got angry at that. And so we're not hanging out. Which is fine. Because I got a pack for my trip anyways. Which is why I'm not hanging out with anyone. I have a game that might be interesting for stream. Shoot. What you got? What's your idea? The problem is I'm going on vacation. Right? And not only that, but I'm nervous going on vacation. I'm the type of nervous that's like, damn, I wish I could cancel because I don't want to go anymore. You know what I mean? I got the heebie-jeebies. I got the, man, I really don't want to go anymore. I wonder if they'll let me cancel heebie-jeebies. Which aren't the good heebie-jeebies to have, if we're being honest with each other. You know what I mean? I keep saying that all the time, but it's true. Alright? I am being honest. What's the point of streaming if I'm not just ripping it? I already have one bridge, so I'll keep it like that. But I don't want to go anymore. I'm nervous. Hope that me and Kento streaming more will compensate for your absence. Maybe. Maybe. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what to bring. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I don't know what I'm gonna bring. I'm gonna be in Florida for a week. Alright, you might be thinking, well, Move, that sounds okay. But let me tell you something. The only place I've ever been for an entire week, right here, baby. I don't think I've ever left home for a whole, I think maybe it was one time, but it was like a planned trip by like an organization. It wasn't just like a normal trip. So I've never like had agency for a week away from home, and that's really weird because I don't know what I'm gonna do for that amount of time. I have tickets for a convention, and even if I spend the entire day there, which I damn well can, alright, your boy has spent a lot of time in a convention hall. But like, I don't know what to do. Where in Florida? Orlando. Home Depot. I thought this place was a fast food chain. Thank you very much, Elite Triathlete, for cheering 12 bits. Thank you for contributing to the vacation fund. I will use this wisely. Well, you know, whenever I get a payout from Twitch in the next 40 years. There we go. They tried to sucker me into using a bridge for this when I needed one for this over here. I'm still a little sniffly. The go. Thank you. I'm still a little sniffly from being sick, but for the most part, I'm fine. I lived in Orlando, went to the University of Florida. That's really cool. I didn't know the University of Orlando was in Florida. Nope, hold on. I didn't know the University of Florida was in Orlando. I didn't know the University of Florida was in Florida. Huh, weird place for it to be, I guess, but whatever. Oh man. But no. I'm excited to be there. I know I'm not excited. I'm dreading it because I gotta drive down there, which is fine, but I'm carpooling with someone. And I didn't tell him no, and now he's packing, and he's gonna come here tomorrow morning at like 8 a.m., and then I gotta leave. And like, I was gonna listen to the Dune audiobook, and now I can't do that anymore. I know. I think, you know, I just get nervous before I go, and I have fun like a real human being. But it really gets to me, you know? And it's just, it's you know, I'm nervous. I gotta spend 8 hours in a car, 8 to 7 hours in a car with a guy I barely know that I met online. I saw some of them. Some of them posted a picture of themselves IRL, and I saw one of them for the first time. I've seen the other guy because he's posted pictures of himself before, and it's like, holy fuck. I hate that you're a real person. I hate that this is happening right now. I hate that in only like a few days, I'm gonna see you in real life, and you're gonna be real, and this isn't gonna just be an online thing anymore. And you know, it's scary, personally. I'm nervous about it. All right, let's read. It's called Spacefight Simulator. It's a 2D game where you have unlimited parts that you can build rockets with to travel across the inner solar system, completing challenges and learning new tactics. No, the University of Florida is at Gainesville, but my first job was in Orlando. Oh, real job? He might be a serial killer. He might be. Although he's Canadian, so I think I could probably beat him in a fight. I had just have the American will. Oh, okay. In Gainesville. You know there's a Gainesville in Georgia, too? So when people say Gainesville, I think of the Georgia one. Do you hate online people becoming reality? No, I just get nervous. I'm convinced Wyoming does not exist. They unloaded all the buildings, bro. Fuck, that was 2 minutes ago. I'm so sorry, Mr. Sketchy. I was busy being nervous. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I'll ever go to Wyoming. I don't think the joke of going to Wyoming is funny enough for me to buy a ticket unless I become rich. In which case, there will be a Wyoming stream. Alright. At the start, there's tutorials, reference videos, pre-made rockets. Watching a tutorial, maybe. It does seem pretty interesting. But I think, do I own No Man's Sky? I recently bought a game that I don't want stream to see. So you're not... I do own No Man's Sky, so that might be something like it too. I recently bought a game that I don't want stream to see, so I'm sorry guys. I can't show you my Steam for the next like month. I can't show you my Steam for the next month. I'm sorry. That's just the works. That's just how it goes. All right. Believe me, I want to, but it's in my recently played because I loaded it. Looks like a backrooms level. I don't think the entire state looks like the backrooms. Gainesville is a funny name. I don't know. I might do a space game. I think it'd be interesting. I also had a good time with the what was it? The RC car segment of Yakuza 0. So I'm not too opposed to building stuff and doing some fun things. Yeah, this is fine. It's not that I hate online people becoming reality, but it's such like it's a thing that I don't think I'm gonna come back from. If that makes any sense, you know? It's like, it's weird. Because I'm gonna see them and they're gonna see me. And like, that's fine. I like the people, that's why I'm going on a vacation with them. It'd be, honestly, I went on a vacation up to Philadelphia back when I was playing Metroid Prime. And it was with a bunch of people I didn't really know. And so I didn't really give a shit. You know, like I don't give a fuck. I'm not nervous about meeting these people. I don't know these people. But I've known these people for a long time, and I haven't talked to them that much recently, but I've known them for a long time. They're my Destiny clan. Destiny guild, Destiny clan. I played a lot. You know, Destiny is probably the game I have the most hours in on Steam. Yeah, it's just nervous. It's just nerve-wracking. After seeing what one of them looks in real life, I just saw it and like I don't know. It was like that scene from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, if anybody's seen that movie recently, where the bad guy says something crazy. I'm not going to spoil it, just in case for some reason you haven't seen it. But the bad guy says something crazy, and then it zooms in on Star-Lord, and he's like, what? It felt like that. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Stop existing for a minute. Oh shit, the Destiny clan people? Yeah. It's a free game, to my knowledge. The PC version might cost money. They're releasing a second game by the end of this year that is a bigger version in 3D. Well, if it's a bigger version in 3D, that might be something to look out for. If I have the funds, I might just spend all of it because 4 is kind of expensive. Wyoming was, oh, well that's 500 trips, that's what we're aiming for. Wyoming was so empty and there was no Wi-Fi. I saw at least 2 cities in my 7-hour trip to South Dakota. Why'd you go to South Dakota? What is it? What's in South Dakota? Is it Mount Rushmore? That's just what it's like over there, man. The thing is, once you get past the Midwest, so like Illinois, Minnesota, Tennessee, leftwards, you gotta understand that at that point, the only reason those states exist, aside from Utah, the only reason those states exist were just for America to like have it. You know, they didn't really give a shit anymore. Like, people lived in Illinois. I think it was mostly Native Americans, but then we took it over, and white people lived in Illinois. And that's why, you know, Philadelphia, Georgia, well, Georgia was actually really big, but that's a different thing. I'm not here to talk about the Georgia land lottery incident. But you know, at that point, that's why it's all squares, which is really peculiar, but what would I know? I think I'm fucked. Yeah, I think I'm fucked. I want to see Mount Rushmore. I forget that Mount Rushmore's in South Dakota, to be honest. No shade to Mount Rushmore, but it's not like that hype. It's not like that cool when you think about it. You know what I mean? It's not like that swag. Thanks for making me realize how weird it is that I'm in a different state so often. It's not that weird, but you gotta understand, right? I'm relatively young, so I still have all the schooling in me. So naturally, I'm gonna talk about how... I'm gonna talk about how, like... We're gonna try and do 2000 on Los Angeles. I think that'll be more fun. But like in 8th grade, I learned about the Georgia land lottery incident. And for those of you who don't know, because there's no reason for you to, Georgia used to be a lot bigger. If you guys can believe it. Georgia, can I... America map. I'm gonna do this. Hold on, you'll have to work with me here. You calling Jack's old? It's true, I am doing that. They're trying to sell me a map on eBay. I kind of don't want that to happen. Ooh, GP, Great British Pound 650. Why would I buy 8 in British pounds? That's a weird way to do it. Georgia used to extend all of this way, right? And then what happened is that there was an issue with the selling of land. It was a land lottery system, depending on like who could get what land in Georgia. So like who got this plot, who got this plot, who got this plot, and they rigged it really badly, so that certain people would get the better plots of Georgia, like probably around this area. To be honest, this place kind of rocks, if we're being honest here, and probably on the size. And then the federal government, which I think was it here at this time? No, it was in here at this time. It was before Civil War. So the federal government, which is somewhere in this circle, somewhere in this circle, was like, "Hey man, you can't do that." And then they fucking slashed it, and now we don't have Alabama, Mississippi anymore. We don't. None of that. We don't have any of that. So we used to be yay big. If you see old maps of Georgia, it'll be like, "Yep, and this is Georgia." It didn't really go out that far. I went out about this far, because I think around here was the limit to the territory. But it got all of this, which is really weird. It's weird to see it. So if you ever see any old maps of Georgia before the land lottery disaster, it was in the 1800s, so you probably won't. It'll have all of this shit as Georgia, and that's whack as fuck. As someone who's only lived in normal Georgia all my life, it was weird to know that. It's also crazy that not my ancestors, because none of my family lived here before. So it's not my ancestors. I don't care. My ancestors didn't fumble the bag. Not my problem. I also went to see Crazy Horse. Crazy Horse is probably named after a Native American, if I had to guess. It's a mountain that started being carved since the 1900s. Oh, I don't know that it was a mountain. I did think that it's a person. It's an extra $15 on Steam, but comes with all the packs, an extra game mode, a better optimization. I promise I'm not trying to push anything, just explaining all the details. Sky Guy, do you happen to own this video game? Did you make it? I'm only half a year older than him. That half a year is lifetimes for like a locust. You know how some bugs only live for like one summer, and then they have to like have kids, and then if they don't, it's over for them? It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that when you think about it. It's still being carved. It's a sight to see. It's still being carved. Leave it to American construction projects to be what's the word I'm looking for? Delayed and behind schedule. All right. If this was I don't know. I don't really want to sound communist, so I'm not gonna I'm not gonna do it. Oh no, I'm sniffly. Fuck. Alright, we're so back. I have it on mobile, so I don't know any experience on PC, but I've seen a lot about it. I understand. Are you mixed serious right now, bro? Whatever. I don't love how close these are to this, and I don't love how close this is to that, but this will have to do. Alright, this is kind of absurd, so we're actually going to do something a little bit more absurd ourselves. Yeah. I don't think this is going to work out, but I think it'll be interesting, and that's probably worth it. There we go, and then we do that, and then we do this. And now they're on different tracks, kind of. It'd be nice if I could actually put a roundabout somewhere useful, but it doesn't seem like that's the case. I don't have any experience on PC, but I've heard a lot about it. That's right. What was I talking about? So I have a friend who's too woke, and sometimes I'll talk to them, And it's like the spirit of Ronald Reagan will possess my body. And they're like, it's Maria, by the way, for those of you who know her. She's in chat sometimes. Very rarely, but she's in chat. It's usually only in the games that she's interested in, which is how it works usually as a variety streamer. But like, she'll just say some really insane shit, and I'll be like, oh, maybe we should do tax cuts for the rich. You know what I mean? Maybe Ronald Reagan had a point. Maybe the economics will trickle down, huh? Let's see. Traffic lights are pretty useful, although I don't like how this is going. Can I roundabout this? I can't roundabout this. That would make it too easy. That would make it too easy. That would be too cool. Alright, whatever. You know, it's kind of weird because I think in Georgia, when it comes, if we were to start putting people in percentages, I'm probably like top 10% wokest people in Georgia. And then I'll talk to Maria and I'll be like, I'm a true-blooded, red, white, and blue Ronald Reagan. If my president dies, I die with him, American. And I don't think that's a me problem. I think it's a problem with her. I think it's an issue with her. I don't think that's an issue with me. Some people might suggest it's a problem with me. I disagree. I don't think that's true. Alright, I've become a true-blooded American. Alright, I live and die for this country. Woo-wee! Do you think you should put the roundabout in the middle? Like here? Now that the 3 colors pass there, it's probably gonna get a lot worse. But a roundabout where? This? I don't think there's a good place to put it. It's only really, I could do this. You do that. I understand you called it, but this doesn't really, like, I guess this works. Uh-huh. And we do that. And then we do this. I don't know if this is gonna work, but fuck it. Let's go. Crazy Force is, in fact, named after and carved after a Native American with the same name. I'll believe that. That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense. I guess it just this actually does bring me back to what I was talking about earlier. How sometimes like YouTube channels that talk about like economics and like the state of the world are kind of incentivized to make things seem worse than they are. So, you know, a couple months ago, you know, I was probably talking a little bit more about like the state of the world than I am now. It's probably because I'm less informed now than I was then. But despite being more aware of what's going on in the entire world in terms of like politics and economics and stuff, I had like the kind of moronic idea that everything's gonna crack soon, guys. Everything's gonna go bad soon. Because it's like, actually, when you look at it, you know, this shit's gonna get serious, man. You know, things are gonna start happening, and then nothing actually did. Probably made me look a little foolish. But you know, that's just kind of how it works. That's just kind of how it works when your news source is incentivized in that kind of manner. Which is a bummer, but it is how it is. Bridge or road tile? We got bridge here every time. I have enough road tiles. I don't feel super comfortable with how this is shaking out. I'm afraid it'll have to be what it has to be. We can put a light there. Maybe that? I don't hate this. Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable. Recently, and by recently I mean yesterday, I finished a web novel that I was reading for the entirety that I've been sick. I've been reading a web novel that I dropped a long time ago, a couple years ago, called Death Mage Doesn't Want a Fourth Time. I took a Dayquil before stream, but you wouldn't be able to figure that out, huh? I feel better. The issue is that just I have the sniffles, which kind of blows chunks. Not a big fan of having them. Best thing to do here. There we go. Alright, I'll get up and stretch. Thank you. That's a good stretch. There's no funny animation for it. I'm sorry. Although it was good for me to get up and stretch. Thank you very much, Sky Guy. I read a web novel that I finished called Death Mage Doesn't Want a Fourth Time. And I finally finished it. There are 500 chapters. Like 450 of them have already been translated into English. And I was so close to the end that what I decided to do was just read it for free on the web novel site that the original Japanese author wrote it on. And I just decided to get the translate tool on my browser and read it that way. And if anybody's interested in doing the same, I wouldn't recommend it. Kind of sucks ass. If you've ever tried to read anything translated by a machine, not touched up in any way, that shit sucks balls to an extreme degree, because Google Translate doesn't know how to make things sound good. But whatever, you know, I read it and I was glad I finished it, but it left me with such a profound sense of emptiness, because like I read it probably back 2020, 2021, and it's been a couple years, and I picked it back up. I kind of forgot about it. But the reason I dropped it in the first place was because it like wasn't even close to being finished. Right? I think at that time the web novel itself had finished in Japanese, but the English translation of it had only gotten to like chapter 280, which is a lot, but out of 500, you know, that's not that much in the scheme of all of this. You know what I mean? And so now that I've read it, I just feel so empty. I feel so empty. You know, I miss it. I wish I had it again. So I bought all the light novels. Maybe the white, and the worst part is that I finished it. And when I finished it, I like, yeah, dude, the author gave up, I think. The author wanted this series to be done, and I think that hurts more. What the fuck is this asshole doing it here? There's just a single yellow house. Dicking around, doing God knows what, and I'm not a fan of it. I've started like 2 or 3 different manhwas in the last 2 weeks. The thing about a manhwa is I read it expecting it to never end, right? Because I've never finished a manhwa. It's just, it doesn't happen. That's not true. I have finished a manhwa and it was mid. It's called the 8th Circle Magician or some bullshit. It's on Azura Scans. It's pretty short. It's like 100 chapters. And it's not very good. So I've finished a manhwa before. But like a web novel is something I go in expecting to like be done. Or like be close to done. And I only read the web novel I was reading because I had read it before. Back when I read a lot more. How do I want to do this? Logistically speaking, it'd probably be better to have a mini motorway. Do I have enough to just... I do have enough to just make the journey. Honestly? Yeah, fuck it, why not, right? Is there a reason to not do this? But no. What did you start reading, by the way, Kenta? I might know them. I'm a little bit of a manga fiend, although I've stopped reading in recent times. But I don't know. I just feel empty, and it was hard because I got to the last like couple chapters, and it was like, damn, yeah, he rushed this ending so bad. He rushed the ending so bad, and there's just something so awful about reading a web novel and being like, maybe you care about the story more than the author does. it just feels sick in a way, you know? Because it was like kind of a bad ending. And maybe it'd be better if I read it in English. Because I read it in Japanese, machine translated to English, right? So maybe the tone didn't come across. Maybe things weren't there that should have been there. But like, I was just reading it and going, I can't believe he did this. There was so much more he could be writing, and this is what we got. This is depressing, to be honest with you. And so now there's this hole in my heart, because I finished this fucking web novel. Shadow Death Mage was on a 4th time, bro. Shit was heat. Why am I looking at a computer circuit? This is just how how mini Motorways looks like. Welcome back to the stream, Partial Bullet. What's up? I'm just talking about a web novel. So now I wake up for no reason now. Oh man, I miss it. I miss getting up and like needing to read every day. Because it was like really good. It was really good. And now I'm a bum. I went onto the subreddit and it was like, you can read the keyword MTLs here. And they have a big Google Doc. And it's the entire thing but translated, and there's no dialogue. They translated all the dialogue as non-dialogue and nobody cleaned it up. Which, if you've ever tried to read a story with no dialogue, that kind of sucks. So I just committed to MTLing it. You will have a reason to wake up in 1 year? I hope so. I love when I start to read something that's so good, I'd rather keep reading than sleep. Exactly, it was literally exactly like that. But now that it's finished, it just hurts. You know? And it wasn't that it was like the best thing in the entire world. You know? It wasn't like, oh wow, this was a perfect story that could only conclude in the way that it did. You know, they could have fucking kept that shit going as long as they wanted to, bro. Probably not, to be honest. They ran out of stuff, but he rushed the ending so hard, so hard. It hurt. It hurt to see it. It really did. I don't know. I'm just upset. I'm upset, and also I'm really nervous about going on vacation. And also I've been sick for like a week and a half. So you gotta think, combining all of these things together. I've been having a bad time. I've been having a rough time. It's been bad. On the bright side, my friend came up from Vidalia the other day. He came up Wednesday and he left Friday. And I was coordinating with the girl who said she was gonna let the group die. This is why I'm pissed, by the way. If you're still around from that rant, part of the reason I'm mad is because she said that she was going to hit him up and then we would all hang out with this one guy who came up from Vidalia. That's like a 4-hour drive. Alright, it's a long... Vidalia is like southern Georgia. I'm like northern Georgia. Not northern Georgia as in real northern Georgia, because northern Georgia is like above Atlanta. I'm like medium Georgia and he's like southern Georgia. Okay? Also, this is a terrible place for this to be. Anyways, right? This bitch, alright, it's like, oh, I'll be free on Friday. Alright, so we should hang out then. And then my friend's like, oh, okay, well, we're actually gonna we might leave sometime Friday. So I go, okay, well, we probably need to hang out on Thursday, you know what I mean? Just to make sure that we can make it before that happens. And so I stream. What's today? Today's Sunday, Saturday. I streamed on Thursday. I did stream on Thursday. And so I was streaming. And so I texted her. I was like, hey, figure this out while I'm streaming. Okay? You're going to be driving home. You can just call him and talk to him and figure out what we're doing. Because for about 3 to 4 hours, I'm going to be playing Deltarune. And I'm not going to be able to figure this shit out. So I finished Deltarune. And what do I hear the plans are? Jack fucking shit. Okay? She didn't fucking do it. Alright, she's like, oh, I fell asleep. Bitch, you were in the car driving home. I know your work schedule. Alright, you couldn't fucking call him and figure this out? And so, a day goes by. He's leaving on Friday. Alright, and I wake up and I'm like, I gotta see this motherfucker before he goes. I have not seen him in months. I'm not gonna see him again anytime soon, probably. I gotta figure this shit out. He came up and he wanted to hang, and I said we would. Alright, so it's egg on my fucking face if we don't, because I'm the one who tried to set it up. And so on Friday, I get him, we hang out. We hang out with that girl's ex, by the way, because say what you will about him, he's a shit boyfriend. But if I need to fucking make plans, and I'm like, hey, can you do this? He'll fucking do it. Also, 1,000, god damn it, 2,000 is hard. I don't know how people do it. I think I'm just not very good at this game. Alright. And this fucking bitch has the nerve to tell me, I think I'm just gonna let the group die. As if she helps at all. Ever. Alright, I'm mad. Alright, I'm a mad guy. I'm a mad person. I'm angry all the time. Alright. And so I ended up hanging out with my best bud. Not my best bud, but he's pretty good. And I've known him for a long time. He's one of my best buds. I ended up hanging out with my friend without the help of fucking her at all, by the way. Alright. She didn't see him, and that was her fault. I understand if you had to work Friday. I don't understand not telling me you were working Friday. Alright, if we're trying to make plans to hang out with this guy who never shows up because he lives a million bajillion hours away, bitch, throw me a bone. Oh man, it just made me so mad. It just made me so mad. I was angry, and I'm still angry. And it's not that I'm just angry at that, because on its own, that's not my problem. She didn't hang out with my friend, and I did. That's fine. But the fact that she acted as though it was her holding everything together is what made me so angry. Like, I don't need you. And clearly, you ain't here to help me. Whew. I don't know. The thing is, right, it's hard because I resent her for things. And it's probably not her fault. Well, that's not true, it is. But also, you know, I'm meant to be past it now. Although I'm not. You know, it's one of those things you're like, oh yeah, no, I don't have an issue with this. Where you're like, oh yeah, I understand, and then you secretly don't understand. Like, she couldn't make it to my friend's memorial in Savannah when he passed away, and he was her friend too. And she was like, oh, I just don't have the time. And low-key, I don't want to be that guy, but you make time for these things. I made time for these things. I got a B in my one of my accounting classes for that. I got a B+. Because I couldn't put the time and the group effort in, and you know, maybe the GPA is more important. Other than the fact that the scholarship for Georgia, which is Hope and Zell Miller, Zell Miller used to do all of it, and then Hope used to do some of it. They've merged, and now Hope does all of it. And the difference between Hope and Zell Miller is that with Zell Miller, you need like a 3.7. For Hope, you need like a 3.0. And low-key, college is hard. I don't really feel that bad about getting a B. College is hard. All right, that's kind of rough, right? And so I'm over here struggling my ass off. She doesn't have that many problems. She's pretty good at what she does. All right, and you know, maybe that's why. All right, I made time for that shit, and she didn't. And like, I get it. It wasn't the funeral. It was just a memorial. She went to the funeral. It wasn't that big of a deal. But it bothered me, motherfucker, as the one that drove down there to make the time. All right, I don't know. It just, you know, I get it, and I'm fine, but also I don't get it, and I'm not fine. You know, you know what I mean? Like I understand that a normal person would probably not have that many issues with it. But so sue me, man. All right, it's just how I feel. There we go. Let's do this. This is a really terrible way to do it, but whatever. We're just running this. I could mini motorway this actually. If I mini motorwayed it, it would go over the train. Interesting. Why can't I get rid of this one? There we go. I don't know. I got beef with her. Not only that, but I didn't like... I didn't sit on the same fucking like thing as her. I love how no one has said anything because they're all focused on listening. That, or it's like awkward and lame. My bad. but you know, it's been a while, and with Deltarune, so many people have chatted that like it's fun and I like it, but also it's not as many chances for me to like rip stuff off my chest, you know? Because it's like, bro, this is mythic level T. Alright, I understand. Well, at Deltarune, I can't like do anything like this because I'll be talking and it's like, holy fucking shit! Sans and Papyrus have formed a human mecha cyborg and is now murdering everybody, and that's the plot of Deltarune Chapter 4. It's not true. It's not true. That's not what happens. But I didn't want to spoil it. Fuck! My mom texted me what I want from Chili's. Chat, what do we want from Chili's? I don't really want anything from Chili's, but I should probably eat food. My mom sent me money for my trip. I love her. Not for the money, but also because she's my mom. Alright. Alright. Well, but no, it's hard to, you know, rip things off my chest when there's like, holy fucking shit, oh my god, I can't believe this is happening, and like people are chatting. And you know, I think it's fun, you know, not an indictment towards that. I think that's great. But you know, you need different times. You need different times to do different things. But anyways, so because I didn't sit, now here's the thing. Oh my god. Yeah, please continue. Will that be enough? She sent me a lot of money. I'm not gonna be like, please give me more. $500 is a lot of money, and I'm not willing to be like, actually, please send me more. I can't do that to her. I can't. I can't do it. She has a joint bank account with my dad, so she could like take the blow, but I can't do it to her. No, I couldn't do that. I can't do that. Don't get me wrong, she shares a bank account for my dad, so $500 is not a lot to them, but I can't ask my mom for that much money. I can't do it. I don't have the ability to be that shameless. I can't. 200 more. That's so much money. That's so much money. $500? Do you know how much that is? That's like most of my rent. Oh my god. Oh my god. That's right. What was I doing? I was saying terrible things about the woman that I call my friend. That's right. She's normally fine. But you could ask for $10,000. They wouldn't give me it. But I could ask, and they could send me it. Listen. It's so bad. It's so bad because like my mom won't even begin to tell me how much money my dad makes. All right, she told me the digit count and it's 6, and that's so much money. That's so much money, dude. 6 digits? That's so much money, bro. I can't even fathom that kind of money. And none of it flows into my pockets. Why do you think I play mini Motorways all the time? All right, can you imagine? I could be streaming in VR. Oh my god. I could be streaming in VR. You gotta understand. No. I'm entirely grateful for everything I got. I could not ask more. It is so remarkably shameless, and I don't have that ability to do it. Alright. I'm more than happy. Florida's gonna be great because I have money now. Yeah. But no, I'm still nervous, but I think I'll have a good time. You know, it helps. I'm also gonna pull into my savings, which I have. Believe it or not, I am self-funded to a degree. All right, I have a savings account, and you know what I save for? I save for things that I have a fun time doing with my money. The only thing I save for isn't anything serious. It's just like, damn, do I really want to buy this? And I'll be like, yeah. Every time I go on a trip, every time I go to a convention, my savings account takes a massive fucking hit. All right, I save to have fun. Your father just won a lottery of $10 billion. Here's $10,000. Want more? Just ask. That's the thing. I wouldn't. That's the problem. I wouldn't, and that's why I'm a bitch. That's why I'm a bitch. I need more testosterone. Alright. But no. Oh my god. Yeah. I'm excited for Florida. but I just don't know. I don't know. It should be fine. All right, a lot of money. Now keep in mind, we're all talking like this. I am obviously the son of Jeff Bezos, but the same girl I'm talking about had a budget of $1,000 for her work clothes. Now, brothers and sisters, as well as anyone else who doesn't identify with those terms, I've never spent $1,000 clothes total in my life. It's just not happened. All right, call me cheap. $1,000 on clothes is something lifetime I don't think I've ever spent on clothes. To do that for work clothes is something I could not imagine. And like, we're not talking like she needs to wear different suits and ties. You know what I mean? Like, if anyone here has ever gone to prom as a man, I don't know anything about how it is for women. It's also probably expensive, but as a man, if you've ever gone to prom and you've had to wear like a tuxedo or something like that, that shit's expensive as fuck. She's not wearing stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's just like normal, like a blouse and like pants, but like a long skirt. You know? Maybe I'm just broke, and maybe I'm a loser, and maybe I need to get my money up. But that was so much money on clothes. Does she use a toothbrush made from elephant hair as well? Oh man, you know, maybe I'd have to ask, but I don't want to get too close. Because fuck, I can't say this. All right, nobody say anything. Nobody tell her. But she's been having issues with her boyfriend, and she was like, while she was dating her boyfriend, she was like, you know, if I wasn't dating my boyfriend, you know, and you weren't dating your girlfriend. At the time, I had a girlfriend. When she was single, maybe we would be together. How do you think that would work? Crazy thing to ask, by the way. Whatever. Crazy thing to ask while you have a boyfriend. Well, you have. I'm actually no students on Instagram. Crazy thing to ask, by the way. While you have a boyfriend, fucked up. Either way, right now she's having some trouble with him. And here's the thing. I don't want to be a rebound. All right, something that I don't want to happen to me. Two, I don't want to be like, yeah, this is my best guy friend, and then she breaks up with her boyfriend, and then she dates me. Like, that's so like ew. That's so gross. Respectfully speaking, all right, I can't do something like that. Also, I'm not interested in her. But mainly those two things. Mainly those two things. All right, can you imagine? Can you imagine? I can't do that. I can't. Listen, I don't know the guy. And as far as he's aware, I've avoided him. That's not true. He exclusively has talked to me in times in which I need to be somewhere else. Like, I've seen him on like in the cafeteria-ish place. Where people go, it's like a food hall, whatever the fuck it is. I've seen him, and I've been like, hey man, I gotta go. Which is inherently suspicious, yes, but also I had to go to class. So he thinks I'm avoiding him. I can't rip that. I don't want to be the backup. I don't want to do it. You're exactly right. I'm the backup, and I'm rebelling against my role. I do not want this to happen. I don't want to do this to another man. I don't want this to happen to myself. All right? And so here's the thing. We were hanging out, and there's this big bean bag in it's not my room, it's my dad's office, but it has a TV in it because it's also where he plays video games. And there's this big bean bag, and there's a couch, and so normally we'll both sit on the bean bag, and like she'll cuddle with me, and low-key I was like, you know what, I'm putting a stop to this now. I'm stopping this at once. We're moving past this, and I'm not letting this happen again. All right, because here's the thing. I don't want this to happen. I don't want us to happen as an existence. And so I'm like, no. All right, this is stopping now. But I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like that. All right, we can get out of this situation without making that big of a deal of it. So I move off the beanbag, and I sit down on the couch behind the beanbag. Suddenly, she thinks I'm pissed. She thinks I'm angry. And then she gets angry at me for being angry. Alright? She turned off her location, which is she initially wanted to show her location and then send it to me, but whatever. And then wanted me to share mine, so whatever. And she turned off red receipts. And low key, I didn't notice. She texted me a week later. It was like, hey, do you want to hang out? And I was busy watching K-pop Demon Hunters with her ex. And low-key, I didn't like the movie because I hate whimsy and fun. But if you ignore that, I just didn't see it. I just didn't see the messages in time. You know, she was so suspicious. She is suspicious. Low-key, I just didn't see it. It wasn't out of like beef, I just forgot. And so she thought I was mad. And I'd be like, no, I'm not angry at you. Because I'm not angry at her. Well, I am, but not like that. I am, but like not in the you did something bad right now that negatively affects me kind of way, but rather in the deep-seated resentment kind of way. Anyways, can I not? I can break these trees. Okay. We only just hung out because she wanted to hang out again, and she was like, "Are you mad?" I was like, "No, I'm not mad. I'm big chillin'. I ain't got no problems. I ain't got no problems here." Tisk tisk, honestly. But yeah, no. So what is it? The house of cards has been building. The house of cards that have put strains in our relationship have been building. Which, you know, it is just like that. Like, I didn't hang out with her today. She turned off red receipts. I was like, yo, I gotta do one last stream before I go on vacation. Because streams have been popping pretty well recently. Alright, the Deltarune Deltarune's been popping off. Summer's a good time to stream. It's just a good time to do it. I already didn't stream on Friday. I didn't stream on Saturday because I still had the sniffles. And I still do, but to a lesser extent. I say as I sniffle. But you know, I need to get one last good stream out. I say good stream, I'm just talking about like the drama in my personal life. But regardless, alright, there we go. Regardless, I was like, no, and so now, you know, that's some trouble. But whatever. I hope we have a good time in Florida. I don't know if this is just me, but whenever you speak, I hear static, like a minuscule amount. It might be the gain. It might also be the fact. So here's the thing. I have a noise gate on my microphone. I can try turning it off. And so what happens is when the noise doesn't go, it might be the, I could try plugging in my wires again. Ah, is that any better? I replugged it in. Like it just started? Is that any better? I don't know what it would be. It's the same? I don't know. You get married and you have to work a bit later, will she be upset with you? Well, I don't want to get married with her. So ideally we don't go that far. Static and microphone? It could be a problem with, I could try screwing in my mic more. Hold on. Let me listen, I guess. Let's pop up the YouTube. This is why having a YouTube is so useful. Hey. Let me listen, I I guess. Let's pop up the YouTube. This is why having a YouTube is so useful. Hey, hey. Let me listen, I guess. Let's pop up the YouTube. This is God damn it. It's looping because I'm listening to myself on the YouTube. This is why having a YouTube. Ah. This is why having a YouTube. Ah. This is why having a Okay, yeah, we cannot. It's the same. I don't. I guess I could. I guess I can. Mic static. How bad is it? Usually caused from interference, gain levels, or cable issues. I can try turning down the gain. The problem with the cable is that it's kind of in my current setup here, which means if I'm gonna underpants. Damn, I guess I thought somebody would. I guess I kind of thought someone would. I saw that there was something on the Discord. I thought someone posted a video. I don't know what to do. It's the same. Static. I could try listening to it on my phone. Just as I'm talking about one good stream, I didn't do anything in particular. That's my issue. I didn't do anything in particular. There's a small amount of static. Alright, come on, little bud. Let's watch the stream, I suppose. Hello. Stream, I suppose. Hello. Ah! It feels like there's a. I hear it. I hear it. There's like a. Let's try turning down the noise gate. Let's try turning off the noise gate here. There we go. If I do that, how does it sound? Does it just sound like that? Twitch, let's bump it up. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm really sorry. I didn't want this to happen. Ah! 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 It's looping on and on because I just said ah, and then you can hear it through the mic. I think the static is just background noise. I might be wrong, but I think it is just background noise. Like you know, it might be that something's turned on that I didn't turn on before. Ideally, it'll turn off. I'm gonna I'm gonna try turning the noise gate back on. If this is the static that you hear, then it's probably that. I do wish I could get, some kind of notifications on it, but whatever. I suppose we'll just have to rip it like this. I'm very sorry. I can try and turn the gain down and talk closer to the mic like this. And so ideally, that should increase audio quality, since I have a boom mic. Any of my pops, any of like my clicks, while I speak shouldn't be too loud. Very very sorry. Fuck. Well, that's taken over literally the entirety of my mind now. I mean, the audio quality is great, but there's static. What did the static play continuously while I turned it down, or when I turned off the noise gate, did you hear it like consistently, or did you still only hear it when I spoke? Because that's really what I'm looking for. Because if you heard it only when I spoke, even when the noise gate was off, then that's a problem with the mic. But if you heard it while the noise gate was off, consistently, even though I wasn't speaking, then that's just background noise, and there's not much I can do about it. You only hear it when I speak, including when the noise gate was off. So if I do this right now, and I like, you only hear it when I speak. If you only hear it when I speak, then I don't. Oh, that's a big problem that I gotta deal with, and I don't know how to do that. Okay, I just hear it now. Okay, so it's background noise. Okay, so it's just background noise. Thank God. Maybe something got turned on. It's possible. Maybe the fridge is going or the electricity's moving in a way that it didn't before. Alright, so that sucks. But I mean that's what the purpose of a noise gate is, to keep out to keep out the noise playing through the entirety of the stream, although it does happen when I'm speaking, which is unfortunate. Fuck, my mind's been totally scattered now. I've been mentally bested by the fucking background noise, which sucks. Oh, roads are permanent. I don't like that. I forgot. Fuck, I forgot roads are permanent. I wish someone could have told me. I wish the game would have told me roads were permanent before I did this. But yeah, well, thanks for letting me know, I guess. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think there's that much I can do. I'm gonna turn my noise gain back up so that I can talk in a normal tone at like a normal distance. I don't know. Ideally, it'll go away. We can only hope, right? I can only hope. Because if the audio quality is too bad, then people are gonna be like, God, I can't fucking listen to this guy. He's so cool and awesome, but like the audio quality is so ass. I'm very sorry. I wish it, I hope it goes away soon. If I were a richer man, I would have bought audio panels. But also, if I were a richer man, I would have. Well, if I was a more, what is it? If I was a more hardworking individual, I would have moved the entire setup into further in the basement, away from any like the buzzes. Because right now I'm next to a window. That's where the pool machine is, and the pool machine goes off. Not only that, but I have a laptop, and the laptop gets pretty like as the stream continues, because it takes a lot of power to do this. So such background noises are naturally going to be a part of this, which is unfortunate. I don't want that to happen. It just kind of ends up like that. What the fuck? Oh, overall I think this is going pretty well though. This little mini motorway I have, and the stream. I think the stream is going well. Thanks for watching the stream, by the way. If you're watching right now, hi. I don't looking at the viewers. It makes me nervous. I caught a glimpse while I was doing stream manager, and I'm really trying not to think about it, cause like I just can't. You know, it just makes me feel different. You know what I mean? I can't change it, and so I've decided to just, you know, ignore my problems until they go away. So if I just don't look at it, then it doesn't exist. Which, you know, that's the right way to do things. You know? What's the problem with red? There's a lot of red over here, and they're not getting over here. I've decided that I'm gonna try really hard for this one. So this is what we're gonna do. Yellow seem perfectly fine. Yeah. I need to do a new music playlist. You know what I mean? I think the last time I made a music playlist was maybe around, it was either start of the year or maybe with Froggy Friday. I'm gonna be honest with you. If anyone here remembers Froggy Friday, it's where for no reason at all, I made an event out of playing 3 games called Frog Detective. And that was it. The event was just playing Frog Detective. And it wasn't like that big of a deal. I need to do a new musicians probably, I don't know. You're actually so, fuck, come on, come on, come on. No, I just did that. This sucks. Fabulous Trunks. I need to do a new music playlist. But when I did Froggy Friday, it was like, holy shit, wait, this actually rocks. Hold on, wait, streaming is gas? There's just something so funny about just streaming 3 games in a row and making an event out of it, even though, you know, I'm just playing 3 games. I'm playing 3 games in a row. I guess that's an event in and of itself. Normally I don't, but I'm still just streaming for 4 hours. It's because of that, I think. Personally, I got rejuvenated into streaming, which is fun. You know, it went pretty well, and I think in terms of stats, when I looked at Froggy Friday, it was like marginally better than some of my other streams. But I was just so happy with how it turned out, and I didn't really care about the numbers. That I was like, you know what? Maybe this shit does rock. And it's been a little bit harder with the summer with streaming every day because inevitably you get to the point, right? Well, I'm waking up to stream. I'm streaming and then I'm going to sleep and then I'm waking up to stream again. And so there's so little happening outside in my life that I can put into my streams, which I think it adds flavor in my streams when I can talk about my life. When I'm not hanging out with people or when I'm not doing things, I can't tell stream about it because I've not done anything. Like I went to the Superman movie and I played Pikmin. I played Pikmin Bloom. For those of you who don't know, which I think is everybody, I play Pikmin Bloom, which is it's like Pokemon Go but for Pikmin. I got added by this girl called Nya. She's level 48. I'm level 14. Please do not add me on Pikmin Bloom because it's my real name and it's what I look like in me form. So I'm afraid I won't be sharing Pikmin Bloom friends with anybody. Also, on Pikmin Bloom, when you go to like a place, it's like a Pokemon Go stop. You know what I mean? On Pokemon Go, you get like a gift. You can send it to people like, hey, this is where I've been. That's where I live. So I don't want to send that either. But I've been playing that and like that's it. That's all I got. I'm level 14 on Pikmin Bloom and I have one friend. There's not a lot going on there. And that's fine. But it's a problem, when you're streaming every day and you're like, yeah, got a new friend on Pikmin Bloom. Don't know who they are, but pretty hype. So I think maybe it might be a little early, but after the vacation, maybe after the vacation, but definitely when school starts back up, I'm gonna change my schedule around and give me a little bit more off days. Not only because I think I need the break. Not in terms of fatigue, because I'm having a great time with streaming, and I think I've managed to revive not only just myself, but streaming as a whole and reaching maybe not well, it's new heights, right? Every time I grow, it's a new height. It's not like I've ducked down and then I'm crawling back to where I was, right? It's a new height. 260 followers on Twitch and 174 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you, by the way. And I think that's really hype. It's so cool. It's so cool to grow. It's so awesome and swag. Okay, we don't need to be Pikmin Blue friends. Just send me your credit card info. No, I already have someone asking for my full legal name and age. All right, they were like, "Oh, I'm just making sure that you're 21." I'm like, I'm 20, but I wasn't gonna drink anyways if I'm 21. Well, I can drink. All right, are these people gonna not let me drink because I'm not 21? If so, cringe. Although I wasn't gonna drink anyways because I'm a square. Yeah, this is a problem. I can just feel that this is gonna be an issue, but the problem with Expert is that all the roads are permanent, so this is just gonna happen. But no, I think it'll provide me more, more time to do things that I can talk about on stream. Like, last night I watched The Suicide Squad, and it was alone, and it was in the basement because I wanted to watch Peacemaker. And if you've ever read the bio of Peacemaker, it happens after the Suicide Squad, and so it was like, well, I have to watch the Suicide Squad. It was alright. It was a good movie. I liked it, and that's all I have to say about it. If I had maybe watched it with friends, I'd have a little bit more to say. Normally, I watch a movie with my friend. But we haven't done that in a while because he's lazy. It's hard to make plans with him. I was really nice to him when I was complaining about my friend who is a girl, not my girlfriend. Try to make sure that doesn't happen. My friend who was a girl before, I was like, you know what? At least he can do what he's got to do on time. That's not true. That's not true at all. I made plans to go to Comic-Con with this motherfucker. He flakes out, does not even apologize. Although I've already brought this up on stream before, so I'm not going to harp on it too much again. Alright, say what I will, or say what you will about the quality of my streams. They might be meandering. They might be a guy maybe who's probably complaining too much, given the fact that, he lives in a pretty good situation. He might be lazy. But what I'm not is someone who will tell the exact same story over and over and over again. Just don't think about that too hard because I actually have done that, but I'm not doing that this time. I actually have done that, but if any of you point that out, you're actually an asshole because the last thing I keep bringing up, I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say it. We're fine. We're fine. We're Big Sean. Anyways, he's kind of a dickhead, but we haven't watched a movie together in a while. But we watched a movie on Friday. It was with him. I invited him over. It was great. Would it not be better to link the yellow buildings to the bottom entrance? I can. You're probably right. It does cost more road, but it's probably better overall. Thanks for the advice, Partial Bullet. I appreciate it. I'm not very good at this game. I've streamed this game a lot. Oftentimes when I stream this game, I'm the only one streaming this game. I'd like to think that maybe I'll become so like successful on Twitch, which I know it's kind of discounting YouTube, and I'm sorry because you're on YouTube, and I appreciate your presence. But on Twitch, when you put in a game, what it'll do is it'll show you how many viewers are watching a game, and it'll show you how many followers the game has. And every time I like click like yeah I'm streaming Mini Motorways, it's like nobody's watching. It doesn't say average viewer 0. It says it doesn't mention the average viewers because there's nobody streaming at the time. You're keeping the game alive. I like to think that. And for those of you who stream on Twitch, which I imagine are very few, there's this thing called a research tab. Honestly, I could bring it up. I don't, I'm not. What am I gonna do? Not show you how the fucking sausage gets made? Who do I think I am? You know what I mean? Let me find it though. It's research, right? So you get this little tab called research and it shows you. And so every week on a glance, and you'll see sometimes here it'll be like, 6.8 viewers per channel Thursday at 11 p.m. EDT. Like this isn't me, but I'd like to think that I could beat this spike. Every Friday, there's some guy who streams like the 700 people or 300 people. 300 people. And he streams Mini Motorways. And on Mondays, there's some guy that streams to 85 people. I want to be a spike on this graph. I think that would be great. The problem is that I don't stream Mini Motorways pretty regularly. That's me, maybe. I hope. If you'll go to my content and then video producer, Deltarune, Sonic Mania, Deltarune, Mini Motorways, Deltarune Haste, Deltarune Just Chatting, Deltarune, Persona 5 Phantom X, Slime Rancher, Yakuza 0, Slime Rancher, Yakuza 0, Mini Motorways, Yakuza 0, Slay the Spire, Slime Rancher, Yakuza 0, Mini Motorways. So it's every, like, little bit. It's not like every week. You're looking at June 7th, you're looking at June 18th, you're looking at July 5th. It's July 20th now. So I stream it like every 2 weeks. And it's weird because to me, it feels a lot sooner than every 2 weeks. To me, it feels a lot sooner than every 2 weeks, but maybe I'm just a chump. Is this the move? Certainly not. I don't have enough roads to do anything else, so this has to be the move. Because I linked the yellow to this, I don't have enough road to do anything else. It's okay, we don't need to. Oh no, my bad. For some reason I thought I saw something. Sometimes it'll happen. I'll think I'll see something and then I'll look and then nothing's changed and I'll be like, huh? What? What happened? It's a little lame. Every time I read a chat message and nothing's changed, there's a there's a clip of someone online of a streamer looking at their second monitor where chat is, and there have been no chat messages, and then someone's like, you just looked at the chat even though nobody sent a message again. Which is so hurtful because I do it all the time. It lives rent-free in my brain and it fucking destroys my, like, I don't know, it destroys me. There's so many things that destroy. Content creators have been such a large part of the internet for a long time now. And so how people say things, I think, impacts me, right? Like, I'll see a funny clip aimed at a certain content creator, and I'll be like, holy shit, wait, that hits me too. You know what I mean? I feel like that just shows you care. You know? I'd like to think like that. I'd like to think like that. That'd be nice. But it's also like, ha, you look and nothing changed. It's like, oh, I got owned. I don't want to get owned. Fuck. No. Stuck in my head, I'm sorry. Like I was watching, or I was scrolling Twitter because I'm ill in the head and it's what I do. And it was like, I was watching a certain streamer and they asked for help and then I got banned when I said it. And like sometimes I do ban people who are trying to help me. Sometimes that does happen. But also, specifically, I mentioned this before because I mentioned it back when I was playing Deltarune. I say back as if it wasn't a couple days ago, but just humor me. But no, like sometimes people will help, but also they'll like spoil the game and I'll ban them. And I'm sure the person who made that tweet didn't expect for it to blow up. And didn't expect for it to hit my TL. They weren't talking about me in the slightest. Alright, there's literally no way that they were talking about me, statistically speaking. They might have been, but the odds are low. And like, it's like, fuck, I do that. You know, criticisms and memes against streamers hit me as well. And it's such a weird feeling, because they don't mean me, but also it makes me want to like be better. Not even in the be better, like, I wanna be better. I want to prove to everyone watching that I'm different and magical and cool. Because I already think I do that. I talk too much for stream, you know? I think, you know, a lot of people just rip the... I feel like that just shows you care, you know? Yeah, I agree. You know, I feel like a lot of streamers just do that, and I don't have a problem with it, other than the fact that I don't really want to watch it. But you know, when you see the big streamers and you see them just be silent and they read a chat message and then they respond to it, I think that's fair. I do the same thing. But I did that with Deltarune, and I'm gonna be honest. I don't make enough money to stream for the money. You know what I mean? I don't make enough money to be live for the sake of going live. And like, I don't get me wrong. If I was making real money from the Twitch game, maybe I'd do the same thing, right? But I like to talk when I'm live because, and you know, streaming initially for me came out of this idea of like, I would be thinking these things anyways when I played the game, so I should stream it because it'd be fun, it'd be neat to do that. You know, I'm not as much as I would love to be famous. I'm not that good at it. I'm not that good at being. I'm not that good at it. Also, this is awful. Things are going very poorly. I'll have to do this, and then we're gonna do that. Yeah, I can't imagine a way this goes wrong. You know, we're being silent most of the time. That's usually fine. For most people, I think it's fine, but for me, it gives me the higgly pigglies. You just can't do it. I already do what I can. And you know, I'm a little lazy. And I accept that, and it's not a character flaw. Like, I don't look at me going lazy and be like, yeah, well, guess what, pal? Get used to it. Like, it's not good. I don't like doing it. It happens. Like, should I have turned down the Radiohead Pikmin? Yes, I should have. It's very loud, and if someone were to do Pikmin right now, and they pulled the Radiohead Pikmin, it would be really loud, and it would probably hurt my ears. Alright. But you know, it's just not. I just haven't gotten to it yet, and it's not. You know, I got problems. Thank fucking God that didn't happen. Oh my Jesus Christ, I would be so upset. Well, the peanut butter jelly time was really loud as well. Thank you very much, Pikmin, for thank you very much, Kenta, for redeeming a Pikmin. Congratulations, if you would, yippee. But you know, I think I do something different, and also I'm cool and swag. It would have been so funny. It would have been really funny. If only I could alter Pikmin like rates on the fly. That'd be goated. but I use the Twitch algorithm for it. It feels, by the way, I can't explain to you how it feels so good to see something that people have like made a service for streaming and do it yourself. Like and you know, streaming's a big industry. There are a lot of streamers. A lot of people are streaming. And because of that, you have a lot of services that are like, if you want a really cool customizable thing, you just need to pay this subscription and you need to pay this flat fee and you'll get that. For text to speech, that's like something that happens. But that guy's all me. I figured that guy isn't all me. I got someone to draw him, of course. But in terms of like setting that up, that was all me. And I didn't have to pay a dime for it. And you look up text-to-speech, how to do text-to-speech on stream. Thank you very much, Kenta, for taking it by from Colin Mushroom Pikmin. And you'll be like, all you need to do is pay for TTS.io. It's a monthly subscription, $50 yearly, but $12 monthly. And if you do that, then you can put it up on stream. It's an easy setup. All you gotta do is follow this 20-minute YouTube video. And it felt so good to figure it out. You know, it was like I was coding again, which is a weird drop. But I had a AP coding class when I was in high school, and I had a lot of fun. I just never ended up taking the AP exam for it. And also, there are a lot of coders. All right, if you're going into coding, you have my fiercest prayers. Other than the fact that I don't pray, but if I did, I'd be praying for you. All right, that job market is so oversaturated. There are so many coders out there. Like, I think it's fun, and I think it's neat. And it kind of sucks that I don't know a lot about it, because I think it's really cool. I think it'd be very useful if I did. But like, holy shit, I don't got that dog in me. There's a reason I'm going into accountancy. I don't got that dog in me. I can't compete on like the national scale like that. Like, I know a guy who's going into coding. My fiercest prayers. That's not true, but like, still, if I prayed, it would be my fiercest prayers. You know what I mean? Whew. But no, it was like the cause I had this guy. Many of you might know him, Yodam, and he'd show up and he'd make a new YouTube alt account, and he'd make it the day, and then he'd like be like, hey, and then I'd have to ban him myself. I wanted to make a bot for that, and if I had known how to code, I would have probably done it. Now that worked out for me because turns out it's impossible to ban bots on YouTube without a mod. Well, that's not true, but it's impossible to ban new accounts on YouTube without a mod, because there's a YouTube API. I don't know what an API is, but it's something that you can build a bot around. I know that much to be true. This is not gonna work. This already looks exactly like what happened last time, and that didn't work either. Fuck this. I'm doing something else. But there's a YouTube API, and on the API, the bots can't look at account age. Yodam is why Kenta is the Discord police right now. It's true, it's true, it's true. Are we being for real? Does the house need to be this far away? Whatever, whatever. As far as I'm aware, people in Korea use public transport, but what would I know? It's like when a military dictator seizes power for like a temporary measure, and then they just keep it afterwards. It's like that. That's why Kenta's still the military police, Discord police. But he would make accounts a day of stream, and then be like, hi. And I threatened to ban him with a bot, and so I looked into it, right? And I asked someone from Devin's Discord community, and he was unhelpful. Shout out Duck, really appreciate it. And then eventually, turns out that my friend's brother is a coder, so I asked him about it. And the YouTube API doesn't show bots account age. Why? Fuck me, I guess. I didn't want to know either. God forbid I be able to ban people making alts in my chat. But why would I even want to do that? Fuck, are you serious? Anyways, you'd have to make something to scrape the You need to use something that would scrape their actual account and like click on the more info button and find their account age and then ban them from that. And sometimes the site changes, and it would be a lot more work than it should be to do that, which sucks. You know, it sucks ass to do that. And maybe if I were a better coder, I could have figured it out. But also, if I weren't a better coder and I was just an okay coder, I probably would have spent like all my time working on some bullshit like that. And then I figured out it wouldn't work and I'd be sad and I was set. And I'd probably stop streaming for a little bit. So thank God it wasn't. Anyways, that's why I'm not a coder. Man, can you believe it? All that stemmed from a minor anecdote about me not being a coder. Me neither. Me neither. It's a useful skill to have, though. I don't know. I'm getting back to school. I can't learn any more skills. I gotta focus up on my accounting, or else I'm gonna have some big problems. I gotta focus up on my accounting, or else I'm gonna have some issues. And accounting's kind of tough, but also I think the teachers at UGA are just worse. All right, I think they're just not as good as the ones at Kennesaw, and that's so weird because UGA is for where all like you would think it'd be better because it's more expensive and richer people go there, but it's not true. Accounting at Kennesaw was really good, and I know this probably doesn't mean much to people who live outside of the Metro Atlanta area. So let me break this down. What do I do here? 40 is a lot. Maybe. Balls. Thought that would work. So Kennesaw is a pretty affordable school, and it's nearby Atlanta. Now, here's the thing about Atlanta and other cities, if you know them. Shout out America, if you ever know about urban politics and circumstances, is that a lot of times in cities, you have rich people will commute in from the nicer parts, and the inner city was where they shoved all the poor people. And Kennesaw is a place that kind of appeals to those of the lower income brackets because it's near Atlanta. You can commute to it pretty easily from Atlanta. It's affordable. It's well priced. It has a reputation of people working go there to get degrees to further their job. It's very much like I'm here to work and I need to get my degree kind of college, which is a good reputation to have. It's a good reputation to have, right? It's not like UGA, which has it's exclusively college football, and then when you go there, they're like, whoa, listen, where are the minorities? Because don't see a lot of them, and that makes me kind of uncomfortable. What's up, Super Deem King? Welcome back to the stream. Can I have a glass of milk? No, thank you. I'm streaming right now. I'm sure you can go buy one, maybe, but no, it can't be from me. You know, UGA has got like a lot of rich people, a lot of people of the upper crust. So you would imagine that maybe the professor would be more prestigious. But my first accounting intermediate professor was just like, yeah, I have a CPA, and that's it. Like, I think it's great you have a CPA, but in a couple of years, I'm gonna have a CPA. I don't think that makes you a better teacher than me. You know what I mean? Can we get someone who like actually, I don't know, man. And I heard you randomly talking about minorities in a good way. I talk about minorities in a good way. All right? When you say it like that, it sounds like I'm saying it in a bad way. I was distressed at the lack of minorities. That's a good thing to be distressed about. Maybe I'm too woke. All right? But you would think that at a college that's so rich, both in terms of money and in terms of the color of their students. Like rich and creamy, as in like vanilla, as in like cake, as in like white. You know, you would think that maybe they'd be upper crust, but when I was at Kennesaw, the teachers were really good. They were like really good. It was actually insane. Like, I don't give two shits about polls. 1, 11, 10. But like, damn, my professor was eat. Also, this is a fucking disaster, and I don't know what to do about it. This is a fucking disaster, and I don't know what to do about it. So let's try that. I'm thirsty. Listen, man, I can't help you. Drink some water. Drink some water, bud. Can drink water? It's thirsty. It's healthy. Despite what some might say about the fluoride in there. Alright. I wonder if fluoride actually turns you gay. I wonder if anyone's made like a research into that. Probably not. It probably doesn't make you gay. It's probably a stupid thing to ask. I don't know. You can't ask people things sometimes. Maybe I need to make a Reddit account and do ours. I do have a Reddit account. Maybe I need to go on r/no-stupid-questions. Alright, because, like, I'm just saying, if it did, I'd like to know, you know? If fluoride in the water really did make you gay, I'd like to know. Is that a crazy thing to think? Maybe. God damn it. Stay hydrated. Are you saying that because of the fluoride or just in terms of water being a good drink? I actually do need to refill my water bottle. You could probably test it by determining you could do a test on whether or not rich people or poor people, depending on their class structure, drink more tap water or more filtered water or like water from bottles. And then if you could get percentages and data for rich and poor people, then in the same area you could get data from how many members of the LGBTQ there are based on their wealth. You could make the connection and see if there's anything there, right? Like if there's a higher percentage of people that are of lower income that drink filtered water than rich people, and like the people who are about gay are about the same. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Then you could draw that conclusion. You could also just ask gay people if they drink tap water. That would probably work too. All right, but low key, listen. It might just be me, but whenever there's like a survey, I lie a little bit. I don't want them to know the truth about me. You know, I I lie a little bit. If you're over here asking if I should have tap or filtered water, I might say filtered. I know, I might. I think in terms of actually drinking it, I probably drink more tap water than the average guy. But I'm gonna say filtered water. I don't want them to think that I'm a bum. You know what I mean? I don't want them to think that I like drink tap water. That's gross. You know what I'm talking about? Oh my god, did you become a cow because you drank tap water? No, it's one of those things where like, you know, a cow dies and then it gets fashioned into a hoodie by a taxidermist, and you buy the hoodie and the hoodie actually has secret powers. It was one of those things. You know, it's one of those. It's like as long as I have the hoodie, it's like Green Lantern. It's kind of like Green Lantern in a way. As long as I have the hoodie, I have the cow powers, but you know, it just came to me. I just have like, how do they become Green Lanterns? How do they get chosen? They have like willpower. I like cow power. I was born with like the affinity for it, but it was only after I got chosen that it managed to happen like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. God, I do not read comics. Or watch TV shows. I wanted to watch Peacemaker, and I watched like the first 20 minutes, and I'm gonna be honest. It's fine. It's okay. It's alright. You know what I mean? I don't know, I thought it'd be better. Tunnels? What do you mean tunnels? Tunnels? Let's get a bridge. Considering how I don't know where any of the mountains are, it's probably better to get a bridge. But overall, things are going well. grass. Okay, if you ever had grass, it's not that bad. You know? It's not that bad. When you think about it. It's kind of tasty. Fiber. Does grass have fiber in it? I don't know. I'm sorry, I'm not a nutritionist. If I could tell you, I really would. There we go. Stretching it out just so that everybody doesn't come off on the same part. Oh no, that's not what I wanted to happen. Alright. How am I gonna do this? So here's the thing. This is all gone. The problem here is that I can't get in unless I do it like that. But if I go through here, it's gonna be like, oh, you know, it's gonna be clogged up with the yellows. This might just be a risk I have to take. This might just be a risk I have to take. I don't want to do it, but I think I have to. And then this probably needs to go from here to here. I do have a bridge, but I don't have that many roads. Are you mixed serious right now? There we go. Alright. What happened? Grass? I saw the new Mr. Beast video. He traps some guy in a plane. You stay there, you win like $1 million. You win the plane. I'm gonna be honest. I would not do shit for one of his fucking Lamborghinis. Alright? A Lamborghini? You give me that. You give me the money, like... You give me the money straight, and then I'll do stuff. Not that having the money gay would be bad, but like, as in the money in the form of its denominations would be nice. I would not do that shit for a jet. Why would I want to plane? Exactly. Like, and in the video, he's like, man, it's gonna cost a lot of money to store this plane. Like, are you really fucking giving him the plane? You couldn't give him the money for a plane? If you give him the money for the fucking massive ass jet that he has, then he could buy a smaller plane and it'd be easier to take care of. At this point, Mr. Beast has delved into torturing people to give them a white elephant. Alright? Now, this is the first time in the entire stream I've mentioned white, not talking about people. Which is probably bad. So a white elephant, for those who don't know, is a gift that is rude to refuse, that you can't refuse, and yet is awful to take care of. So, the concept comes from India, where they have white elephants. And that's all I know. That's all I know about the origin. It's probably some king shit. Not king shit as in badass, but king shit as in probably the king of the India. But you receive it and you can't get rid of it, and it costs a lot to take care of it. Essentially, a white elephant is nothing more than a burden that you need to take care of, which is why it's bad. You don't want a white elephant. You don't want to get people white elephant, unless they're your enemies, in which case, then yeah. I think the white elephant is a sacred creature, and you can't get rid of it, because that would be sacrilegious. But also, holy fuck, it sucks to take care of. That's the gimmick of the white elephant. And so, like, if you stay 100 days, I'll give you this private jet. And he's over here like, fuck, how am I gonna be able to get this jet? You know what I mean? How am I gonna... Alright, are we being fucking for real right now? Fine. Anyways, how am I gonna get this jet? How am I gonna have the money to take care of this plane? And Mr. Beast is just fucking torturing this guy like, you can have a shower for $50,000. You can get $50,000 or have this shower. Make your choice. You know, do whatever you want. But if he doesn't take the fucking money, he can't afford to own the fucking jet. And so he goes, spoilers for the first fucking 2 minutes. Alright, spoilers for a Mr. Beast video. I've gone too far. I need to start spoiling things. Alright, spoilers for a Mr. Beast video. That's absurd. That's an absurd thing to give a spoiler warning for. But like, he doesn't shower because he needs the 50K. And he's like, oh fuck, you know, shit. Do I survive off canned food, or do I take the what is it? He gives up like a mystery crate that has a Lambro in it for like food or something. It's something fucking insane, dude. Oh, for a bed, because he's gotta sleep in the fucking jet, and so, well, are you gonna have good sleep at night, or are you gonna take this Lamborghini? He's like, oh, I'll have good sleep at night, Mr. Beast, please. Please, thank you, Mr. Beast. I'd rather sleep at night. Like, what the fuck are you doing? And keep in mind, in that sense, he'd also have a Lamborghini, which in itself is a white elephant. Because let me riddle you something, okay? Have you ever had a Lamborghini? Me neither. How much does it cost when your car breaks? Oh, well, I don't know. I don't really drive, and if I do drive, my parents pay for it. If anyone here does not fit into those groups, you know. And for those of you who do fit into those groups and don't know, let me tell you the answer. A lot. All right? My Honda Civic went into the shop like a couple weeks ago. That shit was like $3,000. Now, here's the thing about a Honda Civic. That car is not very expensive. It is actually remarkable how much of a fiend and a beast that fucking car is. It's I don't know about it nowadays. I think car prices are all inflated, but mine's like 2015, right? Relatively cheap, long lasting, reliable, a good car to have, especially for like a 20-year-old. You know what I mean? We're like, when you're talking cars to have, you're like, oh, Honda Civic, like, and all the car guys go, And I mean car guys, not as in people that mod their cars, but rather people that know cars, like dads. You know what I mean? They're like, but like in a proving way, right? Can you imagine having a fucking Lamborghini? Yeah, man. Looks like you need 2 tires. That's gonna be like $40,000. Okay? I don't want a Lamborghini. That shit sounds like a pain in the ass. I can't imagine a world where having a Lamborghini is the good option. Cause like, admittedly, I live in Metro Atlanta, and what that means is that I go to Atlanta sometimes. And if you know anything about Atlanta, you might know about the traffic. It's not that bad. It's not as bad as New York or LA. You're right. But I'm not doing that. I was gonna compare like a national tragedy to another national tragedy. I was gonna be like, just because this natural tragedy isn't as bad as this natural tragedy doesn't mean it's not bad. But I feel like that is probably gross in a way. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna do that. But that doesn't take away how bad it is. You know what I mean? What was I talking about? Because now I'm thinking about our national tragedies that I cannot compare to other national tragedies. Fuck. Honda Civic, Lamborghini. Traffic, right? People get sideswiped in Atlanta all the time. People get sideswiped outside of Atlanta all the time. Can you imagine if someone fucking sideswipes you and then they run away and you don't chase them? Can you imagine what that will do to you, cost-wise, if you don't get insurance to pay for it? Furthermore, can you imagine the insurance of a Lamborghini? I don't want to pay that. I don't want anyone in my family to pay that. That'd be such an unnecessary burden. You know what I mean? You have the best fucking driving credit in the entire world. That shit will destroy you. That shit will destroy you. Now, admittedly, I know car insurance is particularly bad when you're younger. I know a girl that it's the same girl. She's gotten to like 3 different wrecks, and her car insurance is fucking nuts. And low-key, she'll complain about car insurance. I'll be like, yeah, that's gotta suck. But in reality, in my head, I'm going like, well, listen, man. I took a class on insurance. The idea of insurance is to make money back. And I don't want to side with the insurance company here. But it's really hard to make your money back if someone is constantly fucking doing the thing that requires you to give them money. To be honest, I'm impressed they insured it at all, but whatever. You don't side with the insurance company. It's a bad idea. Pro tip: in regular conversation, never side with the insurance company. Although, listen, I understand where they're coming from. Fuck. But like, can you imagine normal insurance on a Lamborghini? That's a lot. Anyways, that's my thesis as to why Mr. Beast Challenge is bad. Also, they only invite people who have like strong bonds with their family. I don't know. Admittedly, I'm not very well versed. I don't watch as many Mr. Beast videos as I used to. There's something I think about him got to me. Like, can you survive 1 year in this gym and you gotta lose 100 pounds? Like, 1, dream scenario. 2, someone dies and they use it for content in the video. Like, listen, man. I guess if I had to die on any YouTube video, I would rather it be Mr. Beast. But also, holy shit, dude. You can't do that. There's gotta be some rule somewhere, somehow, that's like, no. You cannot turn this man's death into content. You know? It can't be allowed. This cannot happen. So I'm not well versed on that one. But at the end of the jet video, he's like, would you spend 100 more days in here for like $500,000? And the wife's like, please don't leave us. You have children. Please do not leave us for another 100 days. You need to take care of your girl. It's like, what the fuck, Mr. Beast? Low-key, I'd do it in a heartbeat. But, do you think they'll accept it? Do you think my college would accept it? You think if I went to UGA and was like, hey, I'm taking part in a Mr. Beast challenge for 100 days, so I'm gonna be gone for a semester? My counselor's a cool guy. He'd understand. My counselor's a cool guy. He'd get it. It's like, holy shit, how much money are you gonna win? And I'd be like, 50, 100, 500,000. And he'd be like, go, man. The jobs are gonna be like, hey, what's your excuse for not working? And you're gonna be like, oh, Mr. Beast video, and they'll be like, understandable. How much money did you win? And you'll be like 500,000, and be like, holy shit, holy fuck, that's so much. You know what I mean? That's gas. There we go. I don't know what's going on over here. I only watch the videos that he donates something to a charity thing. That's crazy because you're in the minority of people. Mr. Beast charity videos, like, listen. He gets infinitely more views than I will ever have in the history of the universe. Okay? Listen. Infinitely more views than I will ever have. That said, compared to the other ones, it's like, I haven't finished. There we go. What is this? Watch this video to feed one person in need. 69 million views versus lose 100 pounds, win 250,000. Would you risk drowning for $500,000? It has like more than double the views. What's the other one? I helped 2,000 people walk again. Last to leave circle wins $500,000. And you want to know something? I didn't click on this video either. So maybe I'm just a bad person too. What is this? I built 100 houses. This one's actually crazy. I'm impressed this one got as many views as it did. But probably because it wasn't framed as charity, right? Is there another one? Come on, Mr. Beast. I adopted 100 dogs. Like, this is nuts. 300 million views. I built 100. Okay, I guess it's just the newer ones. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just wrong. You know what? Maybe I'm just... That's weird. I guess it's only the new ones. Never mind. I take it back. I guess people just don't want to feed one person in need, but people do want to see 1,000 deaf people here for the first time. People do want to see I built 100 wells in Africa, but they don't want to see What's the other one? I helped 2,000 people walk again. What's the Mr. Beast charity one? Peace philanthropy. There we go. This is the heart of the matter. This is obscene, dude. Less than 10 mil across the board. We saved 100 children's hearts in Africa. We gave away $1 million smiles. I don't. Okay, that one's kind of an odd one. I'm gonna be honest. I understand why these ones didn't pop off. I'm crazy. This one did. Also, they all look evil. Is that a crazy thing to think? Like, this is insane. Why is Mr. Beast smiling? He looks like the devil. That's weird. Nobody does. Nobody knows about the channel. But like, he looks like the devil. Am I crazy? Smile, 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 sad. Smile, 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 sad. Smile, 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 smile. Smile, 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 smile. He looks evil. He looks like the devil. All right. If you showed this guy to your Mexican grandma, she would be like Diablo, and I'd be like, "Amen, grandma, you're right." What's it? Cierto. True. I really hope Cierto's. Fuck, I'll look it up. Who's gonna stop me? Cierto in Spanish. Watch it be like right. Oh, it does mean true. Okay. Fuck. I know. Well, I might as well look up what. I think left is izquierda. Izquierda. What's right in Spanish? Right is no. I mean like right is derecho, which sounds like direction, which is very confusing. But what would I know, man? Learning another language is so crazy because it's like, whoa. Yeah, no. Learning another language is crazy because, like, whoa. What do you mean derecho sounds like direction means right and izquierda means left? What's left izquierda of? You know what I mean? Cierto! True! God, it's fun though. Shout out people who speak Spanish. I wish I could do that shit. The thing is, I'd hop on Duolingo, but like, apparently uses AI and stuff, and I'm kind of opposed to those principles. Although I think when like, gun to my head, if you were like, what do you really dislike about generative AI and why do you have such a big problem with it? I don't think I could articulate myself. I know someone in stream one time, I don't know, I can't remember who it is, so I could be talking about this to the person who did it, which would be really embarrassing and stupid, and I'm sorry. But someone was like, what's the problem with scalping? Scalping is good, it's a problem with supply and demand. And I couldn't explain why scalping was so bad at the time, although I know scalping is bad. They were like, I think it's good to buy Switch 2s and resell them at high prices. And like, at the moment, I used a very temporary like way to defeat them in the what is it called? The marketplace of ideas. I was like, I think it's bad to scalp the Switch 2 because only a limited amount of, you say supply and demand, but when the Switch 2 was being released, it had to deal with tariffs from big ol' Donnie Trump, right? And how they're moving their production facilities to deal with these. And so you're essentially providing extra strain on the production of something that is already very strained because of tariffs. So you can say supply and demand all they want, but at the moment, supply and demand cannot function normally, and scalpers are taking advantage of the situation, and I think that's wrong, especially because it's a console of kids, right? And so I say all of these, and you hear that, and you go, you're actually so right, Moo. You're actually so correct. But when you think about it, console for kids, tariffs, these are things that are true, and I am right. But you can't say that about anything. What about Magic the Gathering cards? What about fucking, I don't know, what a special edition Nintendo games or something like that are like Nintendo SNES games. You know, you can't say that about everything that scalpers scalp. You can't say that about like Funko Pops. But like, It is. You can't. You're right. It is a good thing to walk into a store and grab 10 of the same product you only need one of. That's the thing. Most people who are against scalping, I just assume we're against scalping. As a society, I assume we're against it because like it feels bad. It feels wrong, right? It's not good. And I know it's not good. But if you ask me to explain it, I don't know if I could tell you. I don't know if I could come up with the best reason why it's not good. And like I know it's not. And I know it's not good. But when it comes down to it, I don't think I can elaborate on it. You know, because like supply and demand. Well, supply and demand which I didn't think was a real defense. The reason I bring this up now is because recently on Twitter, there's this big list. There's this one picture of some guy who owns like a shit ton of the fucking new Pokemon cards that came out, and he's like, I went to all my local Walmarts and bought all of them. I'm like, that's bad. That's a bad thing to do. You know? It artificially increases price. That's the thing about supply and demand is that it doesn't work inherently, right? Because the supply and demand accounts for people who want a object buying that object. Supply and demand does not account for people buying the object to keep that object from other people and then artificially increase the price, right? But why don't they just release more? Because you would buy all of them if they did, but they haven't. And so that's where the argument ends, right? They haven't done that. So you can't say that. You know that they would. You know that if they released more Switch 2s, the scalpers would buy them anyways, and it would continue. The only people that would get Switch 2s are people who could manage to dodge them, right? Or pay the scalpers what they want. But because they haven't done that, it didn't work. And even if it does work, then the scalpers are inherently validated because, like, look, they released more. So that means it was a supply and demand issue. It's not my fault. But I know it's bad. I know it's bad. I just can't. I don't know how to say it's bad, but it is. I know it to be true. You know, you're taking advantage of people that want it. Well, it's just supply and demand. I can't. Maybe I just, intellectually, maybe I fall short. Maybe it is the smarter thing to scalp. But it feels wrong in my heart. You know? It just feels bad. Like, I have vinyls, and I own them, and maybe one day I'll resell them, but I don't buy them for that purpose. You know, I play the vinyls, I think they're fun, and I think they're cool, and that's why I own them. I'm different from them, right? Yes, I must be, right? I hope. I don't know. There are just some things that I don't know how to argue with, but I feel strongly about. And usually that's fine. And usually that's fine because people will most people will be like, yeah, man, I get it, I understand. Even if they disagree with you, right? If you're talking in good faith, they'll be like, oh yeah, no, man, listen, I got you. You know? But like, with scalping, I don't know. It just doesn't feel right. Maybe I'm a little bitch. It just don't feel right. Whew. Anyway, shout out that one guy. I really hope he wasn't watching so that he doesn't leave. I really hope the one guy that really likes to scalp isn't watching the stream right now because then he'll feel offended and he'll leave. Although, you know, maybe he wasn't, and he's gonna drop in and be like, well, but still supply and demand though, and I can't defeat him in the marketplace of ideas. All right, I'm sorry, I lose, but that doesn't change how I feel about it. I don't know. Maybe there are a couple things like that, but the only things I can think of right now are like politics, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. It's kind of crazy how scalping is inherently unpolitical activity. You know what I mean? I feel like most people can get behind the scalping bad train, but I'm not willing to go further. I'm not willing to go further. I don't want to be like, and actually, I would say the same thing about this. It's like, I don't know. I don't even want to say an example. No, I could say an example. And like, I feel that the earth is not round. You know, I can't win in the marketplace of ideas. Everybody just says like, trust the science, but I don't trust the scientists. You know, I don't believe the world is round. I think it's flat. You know, it's kind of the same thing. When you think about it, a flat earther is kind of no different from me. Me and the flat earthers are the same. You know, maybe they're right. Do you even trust yourself? Maybe you can't. Maybe I can't trust myself. You know? God. Maybe the flat earthers are right. Maybe there is fluoride in the water. Maybe this entire stream was a way to convert you into believing that the that there really is fluoride in the water and the frogs really are gay. All right? Riddle me this one. When's the last time you saw a straight frog? That's what I thought. Fuck, wait. How do frogs reproduce? I can't show you this because if it shows me frog dick, I can't show that on stream. External fertilization. They're fertilized outside the female's body. A male frog clasps the female in a position and the female releases eggs and the male releases sperm. Oh, frog sex. Ew. Listen, I've not seen any straight frogs, but I'm also not watching that most of the time. God, I gotta watch more nature documentaries. That shit's weird. There's a video on YouTube I saw before stream, and it was like, this spy crab is being eaten by a stingray, and then the fake crabs, and then the real crabs actually work to defend the fake crab from being attacked by the stingray. And I was like, holy fucking shit, these crabs are so fucking cool. I was genuinely flabbergasted. I was like, oh my fucking god, these crabs are so dope. People talk about crab pot mentality, and what that is for those of you who might not know. For those of you who are unaware on the mentality of crabs, which obviously you should be, if you have boiling pot crab shit, it's where you have a bunch of crabs in a pot and it boils, right? And if one crab manages to climb to the surface and escape, the other crabs will bring it down. It'll grab it and prevent it from escaping. And you might be thinking, Moo, why would the crabs do that? I don't know, man. I'm not a crab, but they do that. And so a lot of people have this idea of crabs as like selfish creatures. But like, in this video I just watched, and is the only proof of crabs being good I've ever seen, crabs didn't seem so bad. You know? They were helping, and they protected the hard shell crabs, stood on top of the soft shell crabs to keep the stingrays from eating the soft shell crabs, because the stingrays go after the soft shell crabs. Not that they're different types of crabs, it's just that some crabs have harder shells and some don't. But like, they work together to protect each other from the stingray. That's a beautiful thing. How the fuck did I get here? Frog sex, I remember now. Alright, I'm gonna go grab food. Because I don't know if you know, but I might be a little delirious and tired. So I'll be right back, but don't worry, I'll put on my finest entertainment for you. Only the best. One of these days I gotta add Family Guy. Alright, everybody, we're back. Fuck. I accidentally did that. That was an accident. I have chilies. They're bacon ranch quesadillas. This is a good stream, I think. I think this is a good stream. I'm happy I had it. I'm happy this is the last stream before break. I like leaving off on a good one. Although this is going to be shorter. I don't think we're making it to 3 hours, gang. There's only so much I can talk about. I've been ripping off the dome so hard, there's nothing left. It's like the Iron Dome. I'm gonna be real. Alright, let's get political. They said there was an Iron Dome over Israel. I thought that shit was real. Apparently it's not. We're just saying shit now, huh? We're just calling things that aren't what they are. We're just saying shit now. I think we're just making that shit up. It's like, if anyone is really big into World War II history and the Cold War after that, Churchill said, called something the Iron Wall or something, and it was between the democratic and the socialist, or the socialist, the communist countries of Europe. I think it's kind of like that kind of iron, as in the metaphorical iron. But they didn't have. Listen, man, I've never been to Israel. I wouldn't know if there was a big ass dome over it. Structurally speaking, it'd probably be expensive, but you know, it's a holy site. You know what I mean? They got a lot of shit going on over there. You know what I'm talking about? Alright, this is gonna be hell on earth, but we're gonna try and make this happen. I'm just gonna do that, and we're gonna hope that nothing bad happens. Anyways, about it being a good stream, I feel like this was a good stream. I'm feeling pretty pleased with it. Although I'm gonna look at the numbers. I'm gonna look at the numbers for this stream, and I saw it. I said earlier, it said I had 7 viewers. And after that, it's gonna take a 0, and it's gonna be 0 viewers and say nobody fuck with you, and that's gonna hurt. But right now, I'm having a great time. You heard it's extremely expensive, so you're right. The fact that it's a metaphorical wall, or that you believe it, it could be like a real dome. Listen, man, I don't know shit about what's going on over there, bro. I'm just American. All right, Marjorie Taylor Greene introduced a bill that said it would cut funding to Israel, and AOC, who, despite I think being openly anti giving Israel money, voted against it. So people are mad at her about that. Listen, I don't know, man. You said it's expensive, and it's true. It's true. I don't know shit about what's going on over there. They got stuff going on over there, and listen, I'm uninformed. And that goes back to what I was talking about at the very beginning of the stream. It all ties together. You need to watch the whole stream to get the call back. But earlier, I was talking about political influencers. Not political influencers. People who oh my god. Content creator and influencer are words that have ruined me. YouTubers that cover politics. I used to watch Atrioc, who was one of them. And I think since watching that, I've become more hopeful for the world. Despite knowing less about it. And the reason why is because everything needs a negative spin so that it builds it gets clicks from people, because, you know, you're financially incentivized and that's what people want to watch. I don't know how to speak anymore. God damn it, what have I done? I forgot how to speak. And so, you know, I'm pretty uninformed. And, you know, if there's not much I can do, maybe it's not so bad. 3 weekly choices remaining. I thought the Iron Dome was their defensive system against outside missiles. As far as I'm aware, that's also what it is. I don't know. It's like an air defense area. Like, if you launch a missile at Israel, it could get caught in the Iron Dome. Which is kind of metal, but it sounds a little bit like a UFC thing. Speaking of UFC, there's going to be a UFC fight at the White House next year. I just took a bite into my quesadilla. It's time to add the exposition. It's so soft. There we go. I guess I didn't want it to be hard. Why did I bring that up? I remember why I brought that up. This guy also can't leave. I don't know if you've noticed, but this little guy can't go anywhere. The traffic light won't let him. What is that? Oh shit, there's another one. Damn, actually that was really helpful. Alright, well this is a, oh fuck, it became permanent. That's not good. That's pretty bad, actually. I'm rooting for him, I guess. But I was watching I saw a Twitter video of a set that, what's his name? Shane Gillis? Or am I thinking of Shea Gilgis Alexander? The guy who got canceled, I think, that got taken off SNL and then got back SNL. That guy. Who did a set at the ESPYs? I'm gonna keep it real. I don't know what the fuck the ESPYs are, but any award show, I don't listen, man. I don't watch that. Like, if a musical artist I like has a, what are they called? An Emmy? Nope, that's TV. Oscar? Nope, that's movie. A Grammy? I'll be like, holy shit. I like root for them, and I'll check who wins. I don't know what the fucking ESPY is. And they got Shane Gillis, who I may or may not be confusing for the guy who won the NBA championships last year, but it doesn't matter. You told a Diddy joke, and apparently it didn't laugh. So, I don't know. I thought it was funny. Like, there's no after party afterwards. You guys have ruined that. All right, you guys have ruined after parties. It's crazy that Diddy went free. Like, maybe I'm just like a bitch, and everybody's already come to this conclusion. But I think it's insane. Diddy went free. He got like a couple charges, but he's like the Epstein. I'm not saying that either. I'm not saying that. I almost ripped something I definitely shouldn't say, and I'm not gonna say it. Okay, he's like the Epstein of black people. You know what I mean? It's kind of crazy. Because Epstein died. Epstein got murdered. You know what I mean? Diddy's gonna run free. That motherfucker, you know? It's fucked up. We're almost at 500. If we can make it to 500, we'll be fine. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Yes, we made it! It's over. That's fine. That's okay. It'll be okay. Oh, man. I just can't believe it happened. But I suppose it's so weird because I'll hear like criminal court systems and it's like, holy fucking shit, the worst person I've ever heard of has just been released and set free. And then also, it'll be like, other courts will be like, actually, this guy needs to go to jail. All the time. I don't know. I guess courts are inconsistent because it varies state to state. I'm kind of surprised Young Thug got off on his RICO case, but I think his lawyer also helped Diddy. So maybe that lawyer's just really good at what he does. Alright, let me check my Steam to make sure that there's nothing in there that I don't want you guys to see. I'm not gonna press this button. That'd be bad. Yeah, these are the achievements I've got today. They're a little slim. Alright, they're a little slim, but I'm working on it. I'm at 76% overall. I think I'm gonna keep playing mini Motorways until I get all of these. It's gonna be tough, because I don't know how to get 2,000. I gotta do 2,000 on all the maps. Don't even fucking make me think about tunnel vision. But I'm gonna get 500 on expert, and I think it's gonna be cool. However, I think it might be time for me to maybe throw in the towel, if you will, end the stream, as it were. Let me, hold on. It's tapping, and I know you can hear it, and you're probably being like, Moo, what is that tapping? And this is the tapping right now. It's not loading. Alright, there it is. I want to say thank you very much for watching the stream. I hope you had a good time. I hope you enjoyed it. This was my last stream before I go on vacation. So I hope it was a worthwhile one. I really enjoyed it, and I'm glad that this was my last stream before vacation. I think, you know, so no stream from the 21st to the 28th. When is the 28th then? Let me pull that up. The 28th is Monday. So probably no streams from that, and then maybe no streams on Tuesday, which is the 29th. But after that, I'll probably move up, and then school is gonna start soon, so streams might be pretty iffy, and I might need a new schedule. But no, thank you very much for watching the stream. I had a great time. If you watched any of the streams during this entire summer, thank you, because that's ending now that school's gonna come back soon after vacation. Yeah. Have a good rest of your morning, afternoon, evening, or night. If you haven't already, maybe consider following or subscribing, because I hope that I'll see you again in like a week, a little over a week from now. Goodbye. Toodles.